In this video, I'm going to teach you 3 easy car effects that you can do in Capcut. So with that being said, let us begin. The first effect is a car slam, which is a super easy way to bring your cars into frame. It's a nice smooth transition that keeps the flow going in your videos. And you can make the car come from the sides or the center. And if you stick around, I'll show you a really cool way to make it look even fancier.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, to do this, we have to basically put our 2 clips together. These shots are actually from Sutra Edits. You can download this footage if you go to the District JP Discord, which I'll also leave a link to in the description. We click on the second clip and then we hit freeze. Then we press overlay. Now we adjust it so that it only appears for the last few seconds before the next shot. Next, we hit cutout to rotoscope the car by simply drawing over the car. You can also click this button here to preview it. And now we can press a tick. Now we can go to right at the end of the clip where the car happens, and we can press this button here to add a keyframe. Now we can go to the beginning of this cut out car and we can press and drag the car out so that it moves out the frame just like this. And also try to think it through such that when the car comes in, is in the same direction as the next clip. Lastly, we can go to the curves section at the end and let's use easy ease to smoothen out the curves. Now if you press play, so now the effect is done, right?
Wrong.
We're missing some
Motion blur.
but we can't actually add motion blur to this still frame. So what I recommend you do is actually finish the whole edit, export it in high quality, then bring it back into Capcut, and we can go to here and click motion blur. Now with this setting, I would avoid adding the blend and I would just add only motion blur, because if you add blend, it gets all warpy. And once that exports, you can see that our transitions now have motion blur and they look super sick. However, if you want to be extra fancy, you can do this. Let's actually go back a few steps, delete our keyframe so we only have the still image like this. Click on the image and click animation. Now here are a bunch of animations that you can use. Some are available with the pro version, but basically when you add the animation, you get a much fancier looking effect. And if you apply different ones, you get a variety of different mask transitions that look even nicer. In fact, if I was to use other software, I don't even know how we'll do these ones. Now the second effect we're going to do that's super easy is adding shakes to the beat. All we have to do is firstly mark up the points on the beat. Now we can do this by clicking on the song and going to where it says beats. And you can click the auto-generated, which AI generates the beats for you, or you can do it manually by looking at the waveform. I've reacted to hundreds of your reels in my reaction series, and the one thing that can really kill a video is when it's not cut to the beat. But also don't always cut to the same beat, because it can actually get quite boring and repetitive. So cut between certain beats as long as it's on the beat, or even better, the rhythm of the song. Okay, so we've cut to the beat, and at the cut, what you can do is click animation and go to in animations, and there are a few shakes that you can use. For example, I'm going to use this one here, and you can see at the next beat, we already have a shake, which looks pretty cool. However, if you have constant movement, what you can do is halfway through it at the beat, you can cut it with split, and you can add an in shake to it there. So it can look like this. Alright, that one was super easy, but you want to get challenged. So the next effect is to click the like button. Now, but the third effect is this pixel stretch effect, which looks pretty cool. Now, this effect usually costs a lot of money and a lot of computing power. But with the power of our phones, we can also get it done. But as you can tell in this effect, the car itself is left untouched and the effect only happens in the background. So to do that, we have to basically duplicate our clip by pressing copy, clicking overlay to drag it underneath. Then we're going to click cutout to rotoscope the car. Now I'm going to click back and go even further back so that we only have the timeline, and click where it says effects, video effects. Now we can go to distortion and add the pixel stretch effect. Then boom, we can already start to see the effect take place. However, if you find that the effect is affecting the car clip, click here on object and select the main video, or the other video, which is basically the background. And you can actually edit the pixel stretch effect by clicking adjust, and you can rotate it around, you can change the amount of twist, the intensity, etc. And this effect actually looks super cool. But if you play it, it looks like this. It just kind of comes out of nowhere. We need to actually animate it so that it comes in looking smoother. Then click on the main layer, then go to animation and select an in animation. Something interesting that makes the effect come in. I chose zoom 2, which I thought looks pretty cool. And now I think this looks sick. Now this can actually be done with a ton of different effects, as you can see here, using the same principles. The only thing we're changing is the actual effect that we're adding to the main clip. Do you know what's also crazy? That Capcut can also be used on your computer by clicking the link down below. But as well as that, some new features that Capcut has released are text-to-speech.
Let us begin.
Let us begin.
Let us begin.
Remove filler words. This is great if you're doing podcasts or long form content, as well as captions, which is great for engagement when you post a clip online. But for you guys that are making these car videos, one thing that's great about them is you can add sound effects like whooshes and really cool animation sounds, and sound design just adds an extra level of depth to your videos. So if you're interested in Capcut, click the link down below. Shout out to Sutra Edits and Ryan Creations for the footage. And if you have no idea how to film really cool shots that look like these, you might want to check out this video right here. With that being said, I'll see you in the next one.